Well, thank you for joining us for lesson 2. Now, one of the things I want to do in this class is begin to not only teach you entrepreneurship, but if you're going to be an entrepreneur or think like one, you're going to have to think like a sales and marketer. You're also going to have to think like a performer, almost like a broadcaster. And that means you're continually seeking ways to keep people in attention. They say, well, yeah, they don't go away. They say, well, that was okay. Maybe I'll listen to the next lesson. Maybe I'll keep buying from this person. Well, that was a good experience. I'll keep connected. And that's what we're trying to do. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to go out there and they're going to buy you first. And then you are bringing either a product or a service or something they desire, and they want to stay connected to you. And your product and your service, thousands, perhaps millions of people may have that, but they want to deal with you. You are the person who makes the difference. So you're always seeking ways to keep people connected. And I fundamentally believe that that is a spiritual discipline. That's part of what we were made for, to be connected to people, to be in relationships. I think that's a spiritual quality that we all have. Nobody except the most reclusive, perhaps the person who has the deepest darkness in their lives, totally, truly wants to be alone all the time. Most of us want to be together. We want to have friends. We want to be in relationships. We want to have people like us. That's not just a Facebook thing. That's a life thing. So I want you to know that that's part of what entrepreneurship is all about. If all that you really want to do is just work on a machine and just make stuff, and you really don't like to be with people or care about people, you just simply want to work on machines or things like that, entrepreneurship is going to be hard for you. You have to be the kind of person who likes, or at least enjoys, getting out there and mixing it up with people. I was told that my grandfather, who I never met because he actually died the year I was born, and I missed not having a grandpa, had a joke where he'd come back after a hard day and say, from the business, some days I'd like to get into a business where I don't have to deal with the public. Well, we would all laugh. That's what I was told. They would all laugh because, of course, that can't happen. If you're going to be in business, you have to deal with the public and all of the goodness and roughness and sometimes badness and ugliness and sometimes sweetness that comes out of that. So that's very important for you to understand, is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to learn the art of mixing it up with the great, big mass of humanity out there, because they're going to have to buy you, accept you, then they're going to have to enjoy working with you. They're going to find that your service or your product is helpful and useful and practical and good for them, and they find the experience delightful again, so that they'll keep coming back and doing it again. They'll buy whatever it is from you again. That kind of lifestyle is what entrepreneurship is all about. And if you just want to sit at a desk, sit in front of a computer, and just do things, work on things, there's a very good chance that entrepreneurship is probably not for you. Now, from that, can I actually make a little bit of more of a God statement? Again, don't worry. No one is going to be offended. No one's going to be hurt. No one's beliefs are going to be challenged in the way that is hurtful or harmful. It won't happen. As I said, one of the fundamental rules of sales and marketing is make the situation safe and make it easy to begin. And that's what I want for this entire situation. It's safe. It's easy. It won't take too long. It will really help you find your way and discover if that's the course for you. Now, one of the fundamental beliefs about all beliefs about God is that God is the creator. He created things, that the entire universe, planet Earth, even you and I are created. We are not just human beings, we are creations. We are creatures. We have been created by another. One of my favorite philosophers simply says this: we are not human beings who have a spiritual experience from time to time. We are spiritual beings that have a human experience. And one of the great psychotherapists, Carl Jung, has said that we will never truly be happy until we know that in some way we are connected to, and we are in sympathy with, empathy with a power and force and spirit above and beyond us. Now, you may not believe that, but that's simply put forward by people who are thinking about the human experience and what it means. Now, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, there is that wonderful beginning. The word Genesis actually means in the beginning, and it simply says this: in the beginning, God created. And the entire story is about creation. Now, I've thought a lot about that, and I just simply want to put this in front of you. I think we are made to be creators. Supposedly, the story tells us that we're kind of special in that we're made in the image of God. Now, my wonderful Jackson the Wonder Dog, this wonderful dog that I have, Jackson is a wonderful creation. He's kind of a gift to me, almost a God gift, because I love him and I work with him and I walk with him and everything else. But you know, Jackson really doesn't create anything. You know, he sleeps and he eats and he's warm and comfortable and wonderful dog. But Jackson doesn't do work. He doesn't create things. Human beings are made to create things. Many times I have discovered is that the reason people hate their job is because they're just doing stuff over and over and over. They're just stuffing. And I use the M word. Oftentimes is we're messaging things. We're managing things. We're marketing things. We're moving things around. You know, moving things around, marketing things, messaging things. And unfortunately, many of us don't have the experience of making things. Now, I have discovered that I am most happy when I'm making things, when I'm making relationships, when I'm making programs like this video, this course, this class. Literally, I oftentimes find that when I go out and cut roses and make a bouquet for my wife, I'm happy. I made something. For many of my friends, I actually have a little shop where I make custom pens. I love nice pens. I have a reputation as being a custom pen maker. I don't make any money on that. I mostly give them away. Occasionally I'll sell one. But I get great joy out of making something. And it's not just making money, it's making something of value and worth. Now, of course we have to make money. That's the way we keep score. That's the way we can live and do all the other things. But could it be that we're going to be the most happy when we are creating things? And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. That's why oftentimes the multi-level marketing or the franchises don't work as well for people. It'll help them make money, but they didn't create it. They just have to operate it. As one of my friends who had a number of McDonald's franchises said, I love the McDonald's franchise, but it's not the restaurant business. I make exactly what they tell me to make. I make it exactly how they tell me to make it, and then I move it out. I don't get to be a creative chef. I don't get to decide the menus. In effect, I simply am in the business of taking something and assembling it. I'm not creating and making. Oftentimes, entrepreneurship requires us to participate in making things. And that's why I think that you are made to be an entrepreneur. Many business people are now discovering that just having people do things, perform things, putting things in place. As I said, the making, the managing, the marketing, the messaging. It's very vital that we have a role in making things. We are made to be creators. We are made to make things and have a sense of personal worth in that. We like to sign things. We like to say, I made that. I remember one guy told me, who worked for years at an auto assembly plant, and he said, I would just like once to be able to put my name on it and say, I made this car, and I made it, and I hope you enjoy it. But all I did was I had a piece of the assembly. I would love to make a car and give it, sell it. Now, think about the people who are happiest. They're people who are involved not only in the jobs they like and sometimes love, they're involved in making things. So part of why you need to think about the entrepreneurial challenge is it may touch a very deep part of your life, and that you will actually become a creator. You will become a maker. And that may be why you should think about being an entrepreneur. Anything clearer to you now after these 2 lessons? We'll talk about that next on Lesson 3. I hope you'll join me.